Anthony Graves, wrongly convicted and incarcerated in Texas prisons on death row, 16 in solitary confinement.
Don't ever go look for the police. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. And the reason why I tell you that is because it took me 18 years and 2 execution days to get back home. A man who didn't know anything about me sent me to death row. And I'm listening to my son gets up here on the stand, and he's begging 12 people who got it wrong to spare his dad's life because he's telling them, my dad is my strength. I need my dad. And the judge said, Mr. Graves, you are to die by lethal injection. Get against the wall. Turn your head. Don't look at it. 500-some men were already there when I got there, waiting to be executed. And I stayed down there 12 and a half years. August the 15th was my son's birthday. But it didn't matter to me what they were saying, because I knew that there was going to be 2 options for me. I'm going to live until I die, however I die, but I'm going to live. Right? And I made up my mind at that time. I'm going to live on death row. I'm not going to exist, because those that are existing are losing their minds. The inhumanity in the system that we call justice. Man, I wanted to shout. I wanted to scream. But then I thought, this man next to me, this man over here, this man up here in this cell, I'm probably going to be executed. So I just laid down. I didn't hoop and holler. I just laid down and I pumped my fist and I cried and I thanked God. Because the court had finally seen what had happened to me, and they cited egregious prosecutorial misconduct was the reason I was sitting behind bars. During the whole 18 years, they knew that I was innocent. He told them that the first night. They had held the trial up because he was refusing to come up there and lie on me. And they told him, look, if you do not testify, we're going to go after your wife. But if you testify for Graves, we'll drop the charges against her. That's the position that our system put a man in. I stayed there 4 more years. Behind steel double doors, solitary confinement. They were trying to break my will to live. They were trying to break my spirit. So my attorney came to me, she said, well, we can talk to them and get you time served, and you sign for the conviction. Will you do it? I said, no. They either free me or they kill me. There will not be a compromise. That is what's wrong with our system. We're putting innocent people behind bars because we're compromising too much. So I sit back there 4 more years. So finally one day, they put Miss Kelly Seeger on the case to put me back on death row. That was my blessing in disguise, because Miss Kelly Seeger was the first person that decided that I'm going to investigate the case. The case had never been investigated. She said, I went from, okay, how can we try this case, to, oh my God, this man is innocent. And then she goes to the judge and said, Judge, we need you to sign the dismissal order because this man is innocent. And she said, no. Judge, if you do not sign this dismissal order, we're going to go to the media and let them know that you got an innocent man back here that you're refusing to let go. And she said, well, then let him go today. Don't bring him to my courtroom. She got attitude. I'm the one in jail. She got attitude. Huh? I get a knock on the window from the police officer telling me, come go with me. And so I'm home, right? And so I say, where the food at? He said, no, come go with me, man. I said, man, where's the food? He said, just put your shirt on, come go with me. Okay. So I come out and we went down the hallway and I'm thinking, okay, well, I guess my turn is here. But I noticed we don't go to that room, we keep straight. So now I'm getting paranoid. Because I heard all the stories before about how they make it seem like you're trying to escape. You get hurt, killed, you can't talk, case closed. So I said, where you taking me? He said, well, just come up front. I said, I'm not going nowhere without my turn. Okay, I learned that much. No way. He said, no, just come on, go with me, man. And he sensing my paranoia by the time we got up there. He opens up this door. He said, go in. Go in. Right? Yeah. It's an interrogation. I said, what my turn is? And by this time, one of my attorneys stand up, Nicole Castle. She's looking at me and I can tell she's kind of holding back them tears, right? So I'm thinking in my head, man, this is more bad news, you know? And then she says to me, Anthony, you remember when you told me that God was good? And I'm thinking, I'm hungry, what that got to do with anything? And I say, yeah, you know? And she says, you know, God is good, Anthony, because Miss Ziegler just dismissed all the charges against you, right? And I'm like, that just went way over my head. I'm like, and so what you say? You know, I had to catch it. You know, what you say? And just like that, they said I can go home. I'm just scared to believe this. So I tell him, yeah, I need to get my stuff. So we're walking down the hallway, and by the time I get there, that's when it started. It dawned, you're gonna go home. And I said, I don't want none of this stuff. You know? He said, you don't want your pictures or not? I said, oh, you get my legal work, my pictures, but man, y'all have the rest of this stuff. Let me go before y'all change y'all mind. We're not gonna sit up in here and debate about what I want to take about. Just let me go. And so they packed up my little property and they walked me out the side door. Out the side door. And people say, well, why didn't they walk you out the front door? And I tell people, it didn't matter to me. They had been shutting doors in my face for 18 years. This one finally stayed open. It didn't matter if it was the front, back, side. I was going out. And when I walked out there, and for the first time in 18 years, I felt the sunshine of freedom on my skin. And 48 hours was right there. And he walks up to me and he said, Mr. Graves, how do you feel? And I said, I looked, I said, it's hot out here, man. It's hot, right? And so they said, do your mom know? Do your mom know? And he put the cell phone up there. And I said, I don't know how to use no cell phone. When I went in, the cell phones were this big, right? I don't know nothing about this thing, right? So my attorney, she said, well, I have a number, I'll dial it for you. And I hear my mom when she answered the phone, hello? And my attorney said, she said, Ms. Curry, I think I have somebody here you want to talk to. We're in the parking lot, and she hands me the phone. And I said, Mom. She said, yeah. I said, what you cooking? She said, why? It's the first time in 18 and a half years I was able to tell my mom, because I'm coming home. Because I'm coming home. That took my mother off death row. That same day it took me off of death row. I watched my kids grow up all behind bars for a crime I didn't commit. And you think we have a place for the death penalty in our system? I say you're crazy if you think that. Because we make mistakes and we're going to continue to do it. We can never be 110% sure that we'll execute the right person. And if we can't do that, if we can't be sure, then we can't practice the death penalty. That's my story. Thank you.